Welcome to the cEDH Initial Feedback Podcast. We're missing triggers. I'm Tim.
I'm Kirk, and we're commanding all battlefields. Podcasting has been something we wanted to do for a while, and today's topic, our journey into Magic the Gathering.
In today's topics, we're going to talk about our thoughts on Magic the Gathering before we actually got into playing.
We're going to talk about how we got into Magic the Gathering from the beginning.
Then we're going to talk about the transition from just the tabletop bullcrap that we didn't know how to play into getting into EDH.
Finally, weekly commander nights before the Air Force decided to split me and Tim apart. I know
Here
what
we
you're thinking.
are.
I know what you're thinking. We look just like our avatars. I'm Kirk.
And I guess you can guess I'm Tim if you look at this bet. Oh, wrong side. Opposite sides whenever you try to do that.
There they are. All right. This is something that we've wanted to do for a while. We've always talked about wanting to start a podcast, but we're active duty Air Force, and we really don't have time. We're both married. We both have families, but now we're doing it. And we already went over our topics, so we can get right into it. Our first one, Tim, what were your thoughts on Magic the Gathering before you got into it?
Before I got into it, it was basically never heard of Magic the Gathering before I even joined the military. So I first encountered that on snow removal in Germany. And snow removal is just flight line operations, stuff nobody cares about, but not a lot going on. And I saw people playing Magic in the break room there at the time. I was like, what the heck is this? And I was looking at it, they're like, oh, I got to have a certain amount of mana to do this spell. And I'm like, nah, I'm just going to play some games over here. I think I was playing Tomb Raider or something. But that was like my first encounter with it. Didn't think anything of it. I used to play. I played Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, card
Same,
games.
same, same.
Uh, Big
Oh,
brain.
a wise man once said, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, that's for nerds.
Yeah. Anytime somebody tries to compare the games, I'm like, come on, nothing compares.
For me, same thing. I was actually on my second deployment, and I was working night shift. And then night shift, we we had to do certain things every day. But once you got good at those things, as you did them every day, you got done with it real fast. So you had a lot of downtime. And on night
Hmm.
shifts, our jobs was really just emergencies only. So these two guys were playing Magic every day, just sitting at the table, and I was just sitting down next to them, watching, learning. And like you, I played Yu-Gi-Oh, I played Pokemon growing up. So I always thought I'd be into it if someone just gave me the opportunity. I just never spent my own money. And finally, after about a week of watching these two guys play, they finally turned to me and said, "Do you want to play?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I want to play." And the rest is history, man.
Dang. So was that quick, huh?
It was pretty quick, yeah. It was pretty quick. I've always been a, I feel like I've always been an undercover nerd. And then,
Oh yeah.
and then it was you. It was my friend Tim. You're looking right at him. He's the one that brought me out. I was hiding it. People didn't know I played Magic. A lot of my friends didn't know, but Tim was pretty open about it, and he just ratted me out in front of everybody. Everybody we worked with, they all know
Yeah.
now because of you. But it's all good.
Yeah.
Now I'm on a YouTube channel, and now we're making a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. That was funny. Yeah, you were trying to hide it so hard. You only wanted to keep it in the shop. If anybody knew outside of our shop, you're like,
I had
your
a
rep's blown.
I had a reputation to maintain, but now it's all good, man. I think it's all good.
At that first base, and then I PCS'd, which is just moving to another base, to Tucson, and that's where we met at our first base together, and that's kind of where it all started. The Magic the Gathering whole ordeal. I came back to a deployment to Iraq. Shout out to all the people that go out there. Uh, but yeah, whenever I came back from that deployment, I just saw the shop inside of the break room. Everybody's just slinging spells left and right, and it was like almost the entire shop. It seemed like. And I was like, oh dang, it must be cool to play now. And then I just started talking to everybody about playing it, and then you helped me set up my first whatever you want to call it format deck because it was like a mix of everything. We are just
Hmm.
playing whatever cards we could get, and it was a Demir. Was it pirate?
Pirates.
Pirate deck. Yeah.
Demir Pirates.
Yep.
Yep. Uh, man, for me, so my second deployment is what got me into it, and I was at my second duty location at the time. And when I got back, I just have this thing like I can tell when people would be interested to play, even if they had no idea what Magic was. I just get the vibes from them that this is something they'd be down to do. So I've always had play groups that I've worked with in the military. So if you're in the military, there's always players, no matter where you go. If you ever go TDY, you ever go on a deployment, the number one thing I should say to you, bring your cards. And you know what? You need to bring your cards and you need to bring a playmat because there's no ultimate flex than having a playmat when you're deployed.
That's true.
uh, I recently just
That's
went on
true.
jumping ahead. I just came back from a TDY and I wish I had a playmat, and that I almost bought one, but part of me was just like I have so many, like all my mouse pads here that I'm sitting in this room are all playmats, and I was like I couldn't buy another one. My wife would be pissed.
Oh yeah, I do the same thing. Need a
Yep,
mouse pad? I'll make my
I
wife use
do.
one of the play mats for her mouse pad.
Hmm. Hmm. That's basically how I got into Magic, man. Everywhere I go, there's always been people to play with every time.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, what about the shop now? Probably not.
Uh, I feel like there's interest in the shop still. Like if I was the one that committed to inviting people over, I think people would want to do it.
You think so?
Yeah, it's a
That's
social
up.
game. It's a
Just
social
just
game.
just add some alcohol to the mix and people are in.
They're in there. They're in there.
That's
They're
all
in
people
there.
want to do: drink and have a good time.
Yep.
And
You
the
brought up a
next,
good you brought up a good point. So when we used to play in those play groups back in the shop, we weren't playing Commander. We were playing some BS form of a 60 card kitchen table standard. And in any
yeah,
variation, 1v1, 2v2, 1v1v1v1. Uh
we
what
did
was your
two-headed
set?
dragon.
Yeah, two-headed dragon in a 60 card format. Yeah, we were doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So how did you transition from standard to commander?
Well, that little play group that we had a pretty consistent group back in the day. I would say we always had four people, and then sometimes up to six. Uh,
Nightmares.
yeah, it was nightmares. But as we were, I think I came back in the summertime, and then a couple months of playing our standard, whatever you want to call it. This one dude had a bunch of these things called commander decks, and I was like, "What the heck is this, dude? Never heard of this format. I'm
Mm.
just getting into Magic." He was like, "Yeah, this is a different format that nobody plays, but I have a bunch of decks." And I was like, "Let's do it, dude. You got all the decks. We can try them out." And then that's just how we dropped the whatever format that we're playing. We just dropped that thing real quick. And ever since then, we just started playing EDH.
You make it sound so easy. It was not easy for me. I was stuck in my ways because I would win. I was winning games playing these 60 card formats with you people. And I didn't want to play
That's true.
commander. I didn't want to play commander, but I ended up buying a precon. The Sahili, I don't remember the name. Maybe it'll be on screen right now. But it was the Sahili Planeswalker deck, Artifact Synergy, and you bought your
I
first
had
deck was
the Traxa
you bought a
first
Traxa.
deck.
And then do you remember our very first ever commander game was just you versus me, 1v1?
Yeah, yeah, pretty
That
weird.
was that was but yeah, after that, I mean, it was fun. I have to admit, I was against it at first, but it was a lot of fun. And now look at us. Now we're playing cEDH, the most competitive format.
I mean, until you start. I mean, maybe one day we'll be entering into these tournaments or whatever. And that's even above a step above what we're doing now. We're like, this is like casual competitive.
It is
What
like
we
casual
do.
competitive,
We
yeah.
allow takebacks and mistakes. Play with
We play for over 1 hour and 15 minutes.
not willingly.
No, man. But you know that. After 1 hour 15 minutes, I almost want to be like, hey guys, this is a draw.
Scoop up.
Let's scoop it up.
Start again.
Let's scoop it up.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, it was tough for me to switch from playing 60 card to commander. Just deciding that I had so many cards and so many decks that I was like, I don't like what am I gonna do with all this stuff? Because I had a really cool one of my favorite 60 card decks was like Ixalan based. Shout out to Ixalan. That's probably the set that got me reintroduced to Magic. And I would say you too, because that was your pirate deck. So Ixalan
yeah,
was when we so maybe our decks were kind of standard-ish. I'm sure there was some illegal cards, but like a lot of our
probably.
cards were standard-ish. But I've made a really, really cool green-red dino deck that was just so good.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, you're all about dinos.
Uh, and then I ended up, but luckily, Gisop had just come out,
Oh yeah,
and then I turned most of those dinos into a really cool Gisoth dinosaur commander deck.
that
It
was
was
your
just
pride and joy for a little bit.
that was my pride and joy. It was just head and shoulders above the class.
Getting just soft out, turn 10.
Oh yeah. Just six turns of doing nothing, tap lands,
Yeah, tap lands and
thinking it was so
playing.
cool, thinking it was so cool to gain one life off your tapped land.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Those were the days. Simpler times. Now,
Yep.
if I play a shock land in a CDH deck, people make fun of me.
They're asking you if it's a homebrew.
Yeah, if any deck isn't the standard EDH deck from like the top 16 or the database, they're like homebrew.
What is this?
Yeah,
Let's talk about some of those early commander decks, man. What was your best commander deck back in the casual days?
it tracks. And then I went to uh, damn, why do I always forget her name? Kalia the Vast,
Mm,
cheating out all the angels, demons, and something else.
Dragons, right?
Uh, yeah, I think it was dragons. Yeah. So that one was pretty good. People were pretty scared of her. She hit the battlefield and took a swing.
Yep. It was I still got nightmares. It was kill on sight.
Yeah, so it wasn't very fun for me after a while, but whenever you play a commander and just doesn't get to do anything every game. Uh, and then I think those are like my top two. And then I think I had like Joda cheating out creatures for all five colors. That was pretty cool too, because I also about playing big spells for cheap.
Opposite of me, man. I'm team synergy. I
All
want
this
my
energy.
board. I want my board to synergize and just trigger hella things off each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You had some of those cEDH traits already in the casual format.
I'm just a student of the game.
Yeah, the other three players, we were just trying to get out the biggest, baddest creatures we could find and play X spells for like 12. You're like, you're like, nah, I'm just gonna create hella tokens.
Yep.
And whenever these things happen, I'm gonna create more. I'm gonna counter all your spells.
Well, hey, who was our favorite commander channel when we were going through this phase of playing commander? Our early phases. Who was our favorite channel?
That would be the command zone.
Command Zone. All right. Are you team Jimmy Wan or Josh Lee Twai?
You got to be Team Josh, man.
Okay. What's Josh's favorite thing to do? Draw cards.
Yeah,
That's what I learned. I learned that's the most important part of the game. I learned that early, man. Shout out to Command Zone. Shout out to Josh Lee Kwai and Jimmy. They're cool, man. They got me
yeah,
through. They got me through a deployment too, man.
yeah. We used to watch all the. We used to go into work and be like, hey, did you watch the new card? I mean, the new command zone video. Nerds.
I learned, man. You got to draw cards. It's the most important part. The most important part still is. Still is, man.
Yeah. So what was your after Sahili? What was your decks and dinos?
At Sahili, I had dinos. I made, and then I started getting into, I think maybe after that I started getting into high power, and I might have been high
Mm.
power before the rest of the play group was high power, because I made a Narset deck
Oh
that
yeah.
that won quite a bit, and I know it wasn't fun for anybody except for me.
Yeah.
It
I'm like,
wasn't
oh
C, it wasn't cEDH by any means, but it was a lot better than anything the table had. Because if I swung one time, there was a lot of times where the game was over.
yeah, 'cause you played extra turns.
Yeah,
So anytime you swung, you're just like guaranteed to get extra turn.
yeah. Um, I had a Knights deck. So
Oh yeah, I remember that.
fun fact, that
Was that
also
Sir
was,
Gwyn?
yeah, it was Sir Gwyn, but that deck started off as another 60 card, just kitchen table Knights deck.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was a card. My wife loved the card. My wife won't play Magic anymore because she doesn't have this card. Knight Exemplar. Put it on the screen. Knight Exemplar. Am I allowed to curse right now?
Yeah.
Hey, my wife says it is the bad bitch.
The bad bitch.
It gave all knights indestructible. And I remember I made a knight tribal, like casual kitchen table deck. And then they came out with those what were those oh no. They play it on Arena. It's like a 60 card commander.
Oh, brawl.
Brawl. Yeah. Sir Gwyn was the Brawl commander. So then I
Ah,
was like, okay, let's take all these knights. We're gonna throw it in this Sir Gwyn deck, and then we're gonna bring the bad bitch to commander. And that
and you
was
did.
it was a pretty fun deck. It was equipment based, knights, knight tribal equipment. It won
Mm-hmm.
some games. It was fun to play. It was fun to play. Uh, and then probably my best deck right before we got into playing cEDH, Xyrus the Writhing Storm, making hella
Oh yeah.
people draw, getting hella snakes,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
the snakes.
and then the first time toying around with like pseudo combos, because like I remember winning some games like with a Perforos, the one where it deals
Oh yeah.
two damage to each opponent whenever a creature enters the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Like that in combination with like a windfall or something, or Wheel of Misfortune because we're poor.
Yep. Back in the day whenever we paid for cards.
Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
we bought cards, whenever we bought
Not
cards,
not no
yeah,
more.
I was dabbling with combos and trying to kill everyone at the same time. But Xyrus was a beast.
Yeah, ours is pretty good.
Xyrus was a beast. You had a deck that was on par, maybe even better because it actually had legitimate infinite combos.
I mean, that's shout out to Zixara. He had two infinite combos where it could untap and tap, and then go infinite mana, and I'd play X spells, and then the Thassa. That's my first combo deck.
You had
And this
Thassa's
is,
Oracle in that deck?
oh yeah,
Oh, hell no.
oh yeah. Because I think the one of my infinite combos was like an X spell to draw all my cards while on top of the ETB for Thassa or whatever, and then I would just win. Never got to use it too much, but and then I think like the other two dudes that we used to play with, they would play things like the vampire dude, Edgar Markov. I
Edgar
remember
Markov.
they play him. Who else? What other command? They play the one where you get
Niv,
experience counters or something.
yeah. They one of them had Niv Mizzet Curiosity,
Oh yeah, Niv Mizzet, yeah.
and he was playing Eureka.
Oh no, you talking about that dude? Yeah, the Eureka guy. Yeah. And then the other dude, he'd be trying to do Eldrazi stuff.
hmm We had
Like,
man, that brings us right. Like, if we're let's talk about those weekly commander nights. So we used to live in the same state. We used to be stationed at the same place. We used to work together, see each other 5 times a week, and then every Friday night, Tim and I were together. We had a huge group, 4, 5, 6 people. Sometimes we would
yep.
play 6-player pods of Commander, and it was brutal. It was miserable. It took forever, but
It
it was.
did.
I mean, hey, you get some pizza, you got some beers, maybe. I don't know. Actually, for us, it was probably mostly energy drinks.
No, I remember. Yeah, it was like energy drinks, but then we also be like Tito's, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. For a couple of us, and we'd play Commander every week, man. And these games would last so long. And that's when we were, and like especially starting from
Yeah.
our early decks, all we were doing was really just starting power creep week by week by week. Because someone would have a deck or have a card that just wrecked everybody, and
Yeah.
everybody else would go to the drawing board and make an order. Card Kingdom knew our addresses by heart, I guarantee it. Because every week
Yeah.
we were buying new cards because we got our butts kicked the week prior.
Yeah. We would buy cards in spite of the card that was played the previous week to
Hmm.
shut it down. Yeah, so that was funny. And that's what ended everything
Hmm. And
between
now we,
everybody else.
yep. Then the Air Force went and moved my boy Tim,
Yep.
and
Live on the East Coast now.
now we play on Spell Table.
Yeah, shout out to Spell Table. Without
Hey,
Spell Table, we'll be screwed.
yeah, that's true. Spell Table is nice.
And all
Spell
these
Table.
discords that have players to play with.
Every night. Uh, yeah, those weekly Commander nights, man. Spending hella money every week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of money.
Like, could you imagine? Like, we had everybody had like a handful of real decks, and sure,
Yeah.
and sure, they weren't cEDH, but I
I would say
remember.
they had to be at least like $200 to $500 casual
Mm,
decks. And
sometimes more.
that's still a good chunk of money
I remember
for
you were selling your cards somewhere, and like it wasn't even that big of an order, and and even for store credit, I was amazed. I remember you had like almost $1,000.
yeah. Oh, because we'd be cracking a lot of booster packs back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would instantly see all these cards, uh, such as like Lotus Petal and these glorious lands that I thought were stupid. And I was like, instantly going to the Card Kingdom order
You're seeing the
so I
price
can,
tag,
yeah,
on Card King, like, why is this so expensive?
yeah.
I'll sell this right now.
What the hell's a mana crypt? I don't want the zero cost thing that taps for 2 colors, man. Nah.
It shouldn't cost me 3 damage 50% of the time. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I didn't want any cheap spells that seemed like it did nothing on the surface and anything that did damage to me. There's like a lot of black cards. There's like you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. I'm like, lose 2 life. I'm gonna make you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life, buddy.
Uh, man.
And then yeah, after the power creep started, that's whenever everything went to shambles with the group because
Hmm.
they couldn't keep up. Or I don't know if they couldn't keep up. It's just they maybe
I
had
don't
no
think they.
interest in playing.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to. I think they could have kept up, but I mean, it really is competitive EDH really just isn't for everyone. Some people just like to play Commander, and that's fine. I still have 4 casual decks because, like I said, when I go TDY, I'm bringing all 4 of them. I'm bringing a playmat, and I'm bringing all 4 of the decks. Honestly, I played only one of them in real life. Perry the Pulverizer. Shout out Perry the Pulverizer. It was brand new. It was a pre-con I bought when I was at the NCO Academy. I bought it.
Incio.
I had to buy a pre-con because I found players, and I didn't have a deck. So and then my wife wanted to ship it out, but I was like, "What is that worth it when I can just go get this pre-con right now?" And I did, and then I did the same thing. Went through the same cycles. Played with the pre-con, got whooped. Uh, Luckily, one of my friends that I made there was like, "You want to go to the store?" I said, "Yeah, you're damn right. I want to go to the store." Started making upgrade, started making upgrades, and Perry the Pulverizer is now a beast of a casual deck. It is ready to Just hop in any pod. I have 3 other decks that I built just for fun in case I ever have guests at the house, man. I'm ready.
That's funny that you bring up going to the store because like back in the day, we were like too scared to go to the store to be seen in there. We were like, oh God, oh man, we're not nerdy enough to be seen in a store like this. And then guess what? We were in the what was that? What's the Tucson LGS that we used to always go to? Amazing,
I mean, I still, yeah, dude, I'm loyal to Amazing Discoveries. Amazing Discoveries in Tucson, Arizona is a great store.
amazing discovery. Shout out. Yeah, we used to go out there a lot. Crack packs, buy cards, trade in cards, buy play mats. I'd even buy stuff for D&D out there. Shout out to all them too.
It's a good store. They have a nice online store too.
Yeah. Shout out to all the local LGSs in the area.
Hmm.
Usually pretty good peeps. Yeah, then with the power creep, and then even back in the day, like whenever we was inside the shop, you made somebody quit Magic, man.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
You made him quit.
That's not true. All right, I'll tell the story. So we're playing, I think it was a 2v2 game in the shop, 60 card, kitchen
Mm-hmm.
table, casual. And then this guy was playing this deck, and it was not a good deck. You could tell. He didn't even sleeve the deck, first of all. So he didn't even
Yeah.
respect the game. But he was just like there were some basic plays he was doing that I saw that he wasn't doing, and I'm pretty sure I kindly said, "Let me see those cards. Let me play." And I was just able to do some things that he was not able to do, which was win the game.
And he never played a game after that.
Never played it again. And it's not like I did. I didn't say anything to him afterwards, telling me he sucked or anything. I didn't do any of that.
Anytime we tried to play Magic in the shop, he made it stop, dude. He made him have a distaste for it.
No way.
Yeah, so yeah, this guy totally made somebody quit Magic, so what a bully. But
What a
as you
nice
had the
person.
as the power creep kept going in the Friday night Magic sessions, uh that's whenever we started thinking about the channel and playing online and things like that. So I
Hmm.
think that we started doing that around the time I was about to leave
Yeah,
anyways.
we at least, yeah, had the idea. We started watching, or I think we did both start watching Play to Win.
Yeah, I think that was probably our first cEDH channel, or at
Yeah,
least it was mine.
yeah, me too. I think mine too. We started watching Play to Win, and then like, man, let's start our own YouTube channel because we had
Yeah.
started. We had this was like in the middle of COVID, and Spell Table had finally taken off, and with like our Xyrus and our Zexara decks,
Hmm.
we were finally were like, man, I think we're high powered. And then
Yep.
after a while, you were finally like, let's just jump into competitive and see how we do. And then we started making competitive decks. I remember I had to break apart all my decks, basically all of my casual decks. I broke them apart to
Hmm.
build a Kenrith the Return King deck that was legitimately competitive.
And you still play that one today.
I still play. It's my favorite one. If I had a game where my life was on the line, I'm playing Kenrith.
Probably because you got the most reps
Got the most
with Kenny.
reps. Got the most reps. What about you, man? What if your life was on the line?
Looking to the left to see all my decks. Oh man, I probably had to go in Nagilla just because of the same factor
Yeah, you got the rep.
of that I've just had reps for that one.
You got the reps.
Been with me since the beginning. Too versatile.
You got the reps. Yep.
Yeah.
And our play groups didn't want to join us on this competitive journey, or else this missing triggers might have a million other people in it, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think they still play. I know like one plays on Arena a lot, and then the other guy hit me up on Facebook every once in a while. He plays like casual with the dudes that are in his base.
Ah, good for him, man. Good for him.
Yep. He watches the video, so yeah, shout out to you, dog.
Hey, shout out. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yep.
That's dope. Okay, that's good to hear. We need to let's feature them, man. We need to put them on.
We'll make an exception and let somebody use Moxfield.
Ooh, that's a podcast for the future, right?
Yeah. things that we hate.
Yeah, we do. All right. Well, that's basically how we got into Magic in a nutshell. Like I said, we started casual, we started playing Commander. Now we're playing competitive. We're podcasting now. Uh,
Hmm.
we plan to do this more often. Unless you guys tell us that we're ugly and we suck, then maybe we'll rethink our decisions. But this is something we want to do in the future, along with our gameplay videos. So if you like them, let us know.
Yep. And then if you are subscribed to the channel, we try to put out content for gameplay sessions every Saturday. We do we're gonna do like the shorts whenever we feel like we have content for shorts. We try to make it like comedy based, like funny things or misplays and things such as that. And then for podcasts, we'll try to do those every 2 weeks. And our next one will probably be the set review for uh, what's it called?
Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
Yep, we're gonna do a set review for that bad boy. Seems like there's some spicy cards in
Yeah, it
there.
looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Not to spoil anything, it looks pretty good.
Oh well, it's
Hey,
spoiled already.
I guess not to spoil what we think about the cards.
There you go.
Yep, we'll have our own missing triggers rating system here on the initial feedback.
Yep,
Because it's all about setting expectations.
yep. We have our whole system of how we're gonna grade cards essentially, and we have the Magic defense strategy. We're gonna lay out our objectives and things like that of our viewpoint from a Magic player and the competitive level.
Mm,
Uh, so some other things to look forward to in the future too. But thanks for tuning in.
appreciate y'all.
I'm Tim.
I'm Kirk.
Remember your triggers.